economy is much better, doctor, because the GDP increase.
Compare the second quarter with the first quarter, I think. Starting.
Compare with first quarter also, doctor. My answer same with Fatin.
I think my answer would be the same as Fatin. The comparison between the first quarter and the second quarter.
Doctor, can I try again? Um, your question is how do we get the growth GDP of the second quarter, right? So I think the GDP of the second quarter minus the GDP of the first quarter divided by the GDP of the first quarter times 100, then we will get the growth of GDP of the second quarter. we will get the growth of GDP of the second quarter.
We're talking about full year economic growth. For example, the news says that in the year 2021, which is last year, the Malaysian economy grew 6% or 5%, for example, 5% minus the total at on January 1st, 2021, the beginning of the year. No, that's wrong. So, or you take the average? No, that's wrong also. So, you gotta get the total number for the year. That's the thing. So, how are you gonna compare to get the economic growth? You must compare 2021 with 2020, the year before. So what I said just now, if the news says, suppose the news says the Malaysian economy grew 5% in 2021, what it means is that compared with the year before, 2020, the Malaysian economy grew 5%. So that's what we call year on year. Year on year. Similarly, when we read a news, Malaysia's economy or GDP grew 8.9%. This is the real number, okay, published by Bank Negara Malaysia 3 days ago. 8.9%. It means that you compare second year of this year, which is 2022, second year 2022, compare with second quarter of previous year. Do you understand now? That's why all of you that gave me the answer, you say you compare second quarter this year with first quarter this year, that was 8.9% wrong. What is correct is that second quarter this year must be compared with second quarter previous year, in the previous year. So that's what it means. So do you understand? Can someone repeat that to me? I want to make sure that you understand. Please repeat what I just said in your own words, of course. Please, go ahead.
Understand, Doctor. We compare the GDP with the last year.
That's not precise. You compare the
May I
total.
try, Doctor?
Yeah.
To get the growth of GDP of the second quarter of the year, like if you want to calculate these years, then we have to this year's second quarter of the GDP of this year's second quarter, compare it with last year's one.
Previous year's second quarter.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me repeat. For example, you see a news. Malaysia's first quarter of this year, okay, like this. The news says Malaysia's economy grew 5% in the first quarter of 2022. Stop right there. That's the news. So what it means is that the first quarter of this year compared with first quarter of previous year, the GDP grew by 5%. Quarter to quarter. Quarter, we don't say that. Quarter to quarter. Yeah. Or simply we just say, now the news has just came out about 3 days ago. Malaysia's economy grew 8.9% in the second quarter. 3 days ago, which is in August, for second quarter. Second quarter is first quarter, January, February, March. That's first quarter. 3 months. Okay. Second quarter for the full of April, full month of May and June. 3 months. Okay. We're talking about for the second quarter, which is April to June this year. But the data came out 3 days ago. Why? Because, of course, that's the latest available data. You must, the Central Bank, Bank Negara Malaysia must collect all the information. So, for the second quarter, which is April, May, June this year, the data just came out 3 days ago in August. Of course, there's a lag of time collecting information and so on. So, it says that the Malaysian economy grew 8.9% in the second quarter of 2022, this year. Stop. Period. That's the news. It doesn't say anything. What it means, this is what I'm trying to tell you to make sure you understand. What it means that second quarter of this year compared with second quarter of this year, previous year, the economy grew 8.9%. So when you hear the Malaysian economy grew 3% in the fourth quarter of 2021, fourth quarter of 2021. I cannot say fourth quarter this year. We're not yet in the, we in the third quarter, right? Yes, third quarter. Third quarter, which is July, August, third quarter. Just the middle of third quarter. So let's talk about, you read the news, the Malaysian economy grew 3% in the fourth quarter of 2021. It means that you compare, it means that over the quarter from, you compare quarter 4 2021, fourth quarter of 2021, you compare that with fourth quarter of 2020, the previous year. That's the concept. You understand now? For example, yes. Again, with year, if you see a table, this is just look at, imagine a table. Table, the first line is year, the column, the first row, the column, first column is a year, second column is percent, which is GDP growth percent. Okay, now first row, okay, that was the title. First row, 2020, first row. Okay, nothing on the top. First row 2020, 5%. What it means, it says, you're seeing with your eyes from your table. Imagine this is table 2020, 5%. Before that, nothing. Uh, Second row, which is 2021, third row 2022. Okay, what it means, the first row 2020, 5%. It goes without saying in that table, the economy that grew 5% in 2020 was actually compared with 2020, 2019. Okay, the year before, which is not there, not listed in your table. It is understood that way. But okay, the second line, second row, which is 2021, there was 2020, 5%. Just imagine, okay, because limited. If in the classroom, I can draw a table on whiteboard. Just imagine. Second row, 2021, 6%. Yes, now you can see 6%, 2021. It means that 2021, the total output, total final output of GDP, final, we talk about final because we don't want to double calculate. So that's why we use the final number only. Because inputs that goes inside, you don't want to count that two times, and so you just count the final output. So the total final output of the year of 2021, you compare that with 2020, which is listed there. Of course, you don't have the number. I'm just giving the first column year, second column percentage. You can have another column, which is the numbers, but not our discussion here. So that's what it means. The concept is, again, finish with that. Whether year, especially, do not make any mistake. When we talk about quarter, it means that year, you understand, okay? Very easy. Year, this year compared with previous year. Of course, B minus A, that's how you calculate. AB, okay, A before, B after. B minus A per A multiplied by 100%. Okay, that's how you calculate that. So regardless, year or quarter. Quarter, this one, people make mistake. Quarter, it means that you compare whatever quarter that you're referring to this year with what the same quarter that you are talking about in the previous year. Do you understand now? So wrong to say,
Yes, sir.
yes, second quarter compared with first quarter. No, you cannot compare that. You compare with the previous year. Same if you get a data, for example, the first 8 months. Sometimes you have the data the first 8 months of this year. You get the total number of first 8 months of this year. You compare that with first 8 months of last year or previous year. Do you understand now? You don't calculate January 8 months, August to August, the number for August minus the number for January. No, you get total number of that. If that's what you have so far, for example, you have all the data until July. So you take the total for July, complete from January 1st until July 31st, the total number. You compare that this year with January to July previous year. That's the concept. So let's move on with continue with our class. So we it's not clear. Okay, and this is economic sector. Um, Primary sector, agriculture, traditional sector, main contributor to GDP until 1960s, to employment also. The crops, animal rearing, forestry, and mining. These are the characteristics of the uh, economic sector. And that's the primary sector. We call it primary sector. And there's a secondary sector, which is considered a modern sector. Manufacturing. Um, this sector process raw materials from primary sector into semi-finished and finished products. And there's a tertiary sector, also modern sector. Um, for example, administration, defense, basic amenities, transport. These are three subsectors. Uh, a producer service, also civil service, and other service. These are three subsectors within the tertiary sector. I'm gonna bring in my uh, uh, PowerPoint from other class, how we classify all this into what we call industry. So I think I better get that right now. How sluggish it is. Courses, courses. So stop sharing with that. Share a new one. Okay. Next time I will do my class from my home because my internet. I can have this my notebook connected to the wire. Over here at the faculty, there's a wire. You cannot just simply plug in to my notebook. There's a configuration inside there that I must do. I mean, I don't know how to do it to configure the notebook to be able to use the wire connection here. So I'm waiting for the to come out. In this slide, I'm gonna explain to you. Let's start with the 10. Previously in the previous class, we saw how economic activities are classified. Previously, it was 11, and now 13. That depends on the time, the era. Certain economic activity like today, ICT will be taken out to become one of the entry, one of the item. Previously, it was all lumped together inside transport and communication. Now, ICT has become important. It become a category itself. So from there, I'm going to show you what when we talk about industry, what does it mean? Still not getting. Are you seeing the same slide? Uh, yes.
No, doctor.
Nothing. No slide.
Yes, nothing.
So it looks like next time, our next class I have to do from my home, not from my office. So right now you see no slides.
Yeah, no slide.
Yeah, no slide.